Hello there everyone, this is Mark III and welcome back to Cosmoteer. Yes, where our floating block of metal and doodads is growing apace. Though sadly at the end of last time I hadn't actually checked my financial reserve after I clicked the build button, so we're actually down to like just over 28k in credits. We actually need to do some more hunting to get more resources to continue the expansion. That is actually really typical of this game. So the 20k, I need 20k to get this thing fully flight worthy, because right now our FTL drive is only 23% efficient, so pretty bad. But we can do a little bit of reshuffling and get that a lot higher, I think. I know that early comments were saying that it's a lot more efficient now with the FTL fuel than it used to be, but there's still no sense in wasting it, I don't think. So let's do a little reshuffling. Let's get, I think I'll move this spare power bay up to here. I'll do the same as the one in the center line and put double doors onto it. And then, is that a good spot for the FTL drives? Yes, 97%, 100% efficient. That is perfect. So I'll put them right there. Readily accessible by power stores and all that good stuff. So yeah, that should work okay, I think. Does slightly hinder access to this room in terms of getting power, but this room is still perfectly fine. So yeah, that'll work out, I think. Only cost 16k as well? Why? Oh wait, yeah, we're replacing some armor and some other stuff. That's the other thing. I kind of want to swap a little bit of armor around. There's no armoring on the sides at the moment, and I want to increase our turning force because, well, a lot of the comments actually mentioned that the engine pods are the most significant thing that needs to be upgraded. Because flat out they are the worst aspect of the ship at the moment, so I can see exactly where that concern is coming from. Sadly, we can't afford a full refit of the engine bay at the back, but we can try and do something about some of it at the very least. I think I'll replace a little bit of armor there in order to get a side thruster mounted at the top. And I guess let's add a smaller turning thruster. Oh, wait, no, there. It'll actually be there. If I can push it further forward and further to the sides, then we can increase the mechanical turning force and make it better, quote unquote. Better with a capital bet in better, because we are betting that it will be better. Or something like that. Look, I don't know what I'm on about half the time. You can't expect me to know that. But there we go. That should be fairly similar in terms of strafing, but our turning force should be improved. So that should help. A little bit of optimization. And then the rest will, I think I'll try and spend that on just getting some side armor to make sure that that's actually in place. Just straight down the sides, like that. And of course, we need armor at the front as well. Because we want to make sure, because as you saw during our previous efforts, sometimes the ship is slightly out of position or a lucky shot will get through. So it makes sense to have protection in here just in case, to make sure that we don't accidentally get a cannon shot straight through the side, which guts the ship, that kind of thing. So there we go. Everything's covered. I'm planning to upgrade this section and further bits and pieces, but actually I've gone over budget. So it's so easy to do that. That's why I was concerned about the budget, actually. What can I strip out? So I can strip that piece out. I guess that's. Actually, I think I might sacrifice a couple of crew. Yeah, I'll sacrifice a couple of crew. We do actually have more than enough crew. And I'll get to that in a second, because there are comments actually concerned about that too. So I think we only need to get rid of 3, but 4 should be fine. Don't hire them back. Oh wait, no, they're only 500, not 1,000. Oh. Should still be good. Yep, that's still good. And we can get one of them back. There we go. Hey! The ship, she is ready, Captain! Haha! Right, anyway, let's actually start moving. And go ahead. There is actually something relevant here. Anyway, first things first, let us jump to a suitable target location. We must harvest some prey. Yes. But yeah, 85. If I jumped at like 25% Todd, it was at 23 before. That would be what? 81, 60, 240, 320, 30, 33, about 340, 350 odd FTL just to make a jump that distance. That would have. Yeah. If it's scaled linear, I don't know if it does or not. That's actually a fair point that I've just thought of, but it wouldn't have been pretty jumping with 23% efficiency. So kind of bad. Anyway, right. Comments. Happy Hafer. Only 2 regular thrusters for braking. Yes, guilty as charged. Then that's still the case, sadly. These improvements, same with turning to a lesser degree. That's one of the reasons I just amped up the turning force. The giant power core looks like overkill to me. Your crew can't possibly empty it with the current power demand. That part is true, I agree. I suggest you replace it with one that's smaller size and maybe add a smaller one in the shield areas. My motto for power in Cosmoteer is, a power core is an infinite storage, so better a core than 2 or 3 storages. A painfully explosive motto, I know, but it works as long as you have the money. I also hope you don't forget about missile defense, as you will meet them soon. This is true, but there are a couple of things I want to mention here. First off, we have this big, pulsating, beating heart in the centre of the ship. So, you know, it's like a really big, beefy power core, and in terms of total output, the big cores are actually more efficient for the space than the small ones. So they present as smaller targets. But in terms of distributing the power, there is also something else I'd like to mention too, which I'm not sure if you've picked up on. If you look at the batteries that the crew are carrying. 1, 2, 3. That's because the small, medium, and large reactors actually produce power packs, which have got a density multiplier on them. Medium power plants produce power packs with 2 charges. Large plants, like this one, produce packs with 3 charges. So it's actually 3 times as effective than grabbing from here and moving it deeper than it would be if they were grabbing from a small core, which would only provide a single charge. When these big packs actually arrive somewhere, then it gets split up into small power packs based on whatever's going on. So if you look here, it immediately fills that up. And of course, any extra is just wasted. But basically it means like having a single large reactor, my carrying troops are 3 times as effective as before. Anyway, let's go ahead and start picking a target. Let's go after this guy. And we'll actually see how this works out, because I've got all these localized power storages just to make sure there's power up where it's most likely to be needed. And then the big reactor allows me to try and recharge more quickly. Actually, these 2 rooms are not too well connected to the central causeways at the moment. I was planning to redesign the entire area, so that's probably okay. But yeah, you do make strong points, and as the ship grows bigger, some extra power rooms might be needed. But right now, this is the heart, and it gives me some good leeway, just in case. I seriously need to boost my engines, geez. Oh, okay, we're about to do it. We have got a wingbat. Lots of armour. Control rooms in the front, though, and not very well armed. So, okay, let's just let our ship go ahead and see what happens. The railguns are getting their first time. We do need more turning force, actually. Come on. Something I would like to quickly note here, actually, is that this is why I've kept them really centerline, since the ship tries to point at the target. Oh, our first shot's away. So I find like having the railguns spread out too much is not really the best for trying to use them. Let's see though. Oh, well, there goes that wing of it. But This is also a sign of like we need more strafing ability as well, because the shots are actually going too far past it that way. So I'll tell it to shoot at this instead, which will turn the ship slightly. Yep, that seems to have done the job. Nope. The other thing of note, of course, is the fact that the railguns are our only weapon system at the moment, quite literally. So we do need some supporting weaponry. But that does mean the ship is staying further away. Also of note, by the way, is, well, you're probably seeing this, but I will skip ahead slightly in the comments to one from Dama, who I mentioned a few times in the last episode. I think I'm going to tell you to adjust your angle ever so slightly. Yeah, we do need some supporting weapons. Against a target this small, this is not the best idea. Actually makes me wish I had an ion beam installed. Look at that. Okay, we have a little bit of a scratch. Right. So Dam's comment is, they say that Shaft is one bad mother. Seriously though, it looks like one mean Daka flinger. So yeah. I was talking a bit with Dam on Discord after that, and I decided, you know what, that might be a name. So this is the Grand Shaft. There's the name, and I even messed around with the paint scheme a little bit. So the Grand Shaft, ladies and gents. I guess that's what we're flying into battle now. As you do. Oh, dear. Anyway, we need weaponry of the supporting kinds, because just 2 railguns is not going to cut it. I want at least a couple of electro bolts, things like that. Oh, actually, I do want to mention really quick. Lol pointed out to me yesterday that there has been a patch, so he was hoping that I'd show all the cool new toys and stuff off. Sadly, it was a balance patch, so there aren't actually any cool toys, but there is actually a few bits worth mentioning. Like, they changed railgun speed, so railguns are actually slightly faster. They've changed a bunch of missile speeds and things, which don't really matter to me, if I'm honest, and I've gone over budget again. So easy to do that. Let's take out the electro bolts. Yeah, that'll do. But of interest is that apparently they've changed it so that armor isn't quite as effective against things like the electro bolts. So now armor has a soak value, absorbing incoming electro bolt shocks, and then once it's drained to 0, it won't stop the shots anymore, because apparently it was doing that, and that's why it's so effective against electro bolts. But once that soak is gone, electro bolts will be able to pass through it and hit the block behind. Wow, we didn't even get into contact range there. The railguns just fired and gutted it. Okay. Didn't even get to see it. I didn't know the ship could actually fire beyond its target range. But if it's lined up, apparently it'll take the shot. Oh dear. Anyway, rolling back to in order, sort of. Just want to make sure I don't miss... Yeah, the last bit of Happy Aphids comment was that he hopes I don't forget about missile defense, as I'll meet them soon. Nope. The railgun just went straight down the middle of that. Yeah, notice now that the default range is a lot closer because it's trying to get in range for the laser turrets. But the railguns are doing great, but I just don't have the thrust still to try and deal with this. But yeah, the railguns are working just fine at their current size. I'm quite happy with them. Oh dear. Alright, Mario Zombie 07. You say, I'm not sure if you know this, but the version of Cosmoteer, you can create different types of crew members that you can assign to specific tasks by going to the crew tab and clicking on roles. You can use this to increase the efficiency of your ship if you do it correctly. That is a very strong and extremely relevant point, actually, Mario Zombie. Thank you. Nope. Target defeated. Okay. Splat. I feel like I'm... Yeah. Let's go bully the weak some more. But we're not quite getting enough FTL fuel from going up against the small guys. I'll have to keep an eye on that as we go into this next one. But yeah, I was actually planning to do crew customization like that. And what I was thinking was that in this current configuration, a good one would be to have a couple of rooms set to guys which are focused on getting power packs from the reactor core to the battery stores. Because that will just help with power distribution, and it's actually highly relevant to Happy Haver's original comment. And that's what I was thinking of doing with this. So yeah, fun times for all, especially the guys who are lugging power packs back and forth. Locust. Oh, so much for that plasma kit. So, plasma? So much for the beam laser. Oh my. And sadly I got distracted and didn't actually spot how much FTL fuel that gave me, so hang on. 440. Go forwards, yes. I will watch as the railgun does its stuff. The grand shaft delivers. Or something. I don't know. We do need to improve turning force though, it's still not enough. Nope. Yep, it only penetrated like part way through a solid block of armour, so the railguns could do with being enlarged actually. But right now it is definitely enough to handle this, so I'm glad. And that gave me 19. Okay, so I guess optimally it's maybe like 70, 75 fuel we get from one of these smaller places. So yeah, spending like 100 odd to get to them is actually not worth it at all. Our ship is actually too heavy now. Right, anyway, crew. Let's actually set a crew roll. So this is back in the behaviours. Here we go, right. Right now we have the red shirts, which go do whatever. But I'm going to add a new role. I'll set them as the yellow shirts. I'll set them as the a very flattering name, Battery Mules. And this is how we set it. So we've got all the different tabs for all the different systems, and we can tell them to prioritize. So, like, we could tell them to prioritize the electro bolter or stuff like that. And this is like they go to man it and all that kind of things. But something that's actually in the patch notes as well. Actually, the patch notes said that now if there's not enough people assigned to a role available to man a crew, they don't just go in and partially man it. Like if a system needs multiple crew, like say the railguns is one minor example here. If only one person's available to operate a railgun, then he doesn't go stop there. He actually stays off it and goes to do other stuff until someone else can join in and become available. You guys don't do the FTL, but you have max priority to do battery storage runs. And that max priority should override everything except for fire extinguishing. So they'll do that. So any rooms I assign to that role now will have the job of just grabbing power packs and taking them up to these rooms. And then normal guys, they'll grab from the nearest power source. They'll grab from those rooms flat out. And I think I'm going to assign these two rooms here, because they've got really fast access to the power core in general. So there we go. We have 2 rooms of yellow people, and everyone else will focus on everything else. So that should help, I think. Let's go with that. Sorted. Okay, next is Ben, as we go to our next target area, which is this one here. 73 fuel. Breaking even, more or less, but hey, that's fine. Wait, no, hang on. We haven't actually killed everyone. Whoops. Can't have that. Yeah, next up is Ben, as I said. Like the direction your ship is going, but I have a few suggestions currently. Thank you. Make the engine pods bigger. You see what I mean about the focus on the engines? And move them further out away from the centre of mass to increase the effectiveness. Have almost as much reverse thrust as you do forward thrust. Reverse thrust helps in turning, so it helps in multiple ways. This is very true. And for some reason we actually overshot really badly, but as we passed we did kind of got the reliable, so it's all good. So, but yeah, the engine pods, I don't normally have a lot more forward thrust than reverse in this game. It's just that I didn't have enough funding, so that's why I just have those big booster engines to make sure I can actually catch things. That's why it's so skewed towards forward thrust at the moment. Let's go and bully the week over here. Off we go. So yeah, another vote for getting the engine pod sorted out, because that's a big issue. Come on. Engage. Second, you want to optimize your doors a bit. Don't have too many as they increase fire spread. This is actually true and a valid point. It's just, I think especially in this area over here, it's just like I have a lot of doors to provide ready access back and forth. Up here, I don't think I have too many doors. I actually deliberately didn't leave doors onto the central corridor, but I've tried to not have too many in general, so that's why I've been actively deleting and shuffling doors around a bit as the design has been going onwards. So that's fair. Third, you should also probably sprinkle in a few more fire extinguishers. They have a decent amount of health, so you can use them as in place of armor. I knew they had a bit of health. I didn't know they could actually serve as impromptu armor blocks. Duly noted, thank you. Let's actually... But yeah, they're in midships right now because it's like I've got the entire conveyor system in place, but we could do with some more. Definitely. We could definitely do with some more. Right. Let's do that. There's also a bit of extra armor I want to actually sprinkle in, which is something else that Lollard pointed out. So, thanks, Lollard. Though Lollard, he showed me a video of someone building a massive ion beam cannon. And he wanted that to show me like what he was thinking in terms of like his vote for me having a big ion cannon installed. But what I took away from that was a bit of armor placement, which he said he didn't know what I was talking about. Though he did mention it previously as well, so it's like I'm a bit confused there. But anyway, we can do something about the armor in front of the railguns, as it turns out, and that is the angle triangle armor, which we can put in like that. And that'll still leave room for the shot to get through. One issue is, of course, we've got double here, so that means we need to have some cross pieces in here somewhere, just so that it still connects, but at least we can protect the system a little bit better than we were doing. Let's also get those fire extinguishers installed, actually, while we're at it. Let's put them, I guess, some up here would be maybe good. A couple there. Let's put a couple down here as well, because we don't need as much armor at the back here. So there we go. We've got fire extinguishers spread out more around the ship, so that's always good. Okay, and next comment is that's Dammers. Okay, and that's it for comments on part 3. Actually, there is, however, one further comment which wound up appearing on part 2, as it turns out. Here comes some electro bolts. One thing I noticed, of course, is the longer you make the railgun, the faster the shells go. But wait, no, hang on. Oh, darn it! That works for iron beams, but it doesn't work for. Yeah, it doesn't work for the railguns, as it turns out. Okay. Yeah, our railgun shots are literally breaking as soon as they try to fire, so that's not going to work. Okay, that is a shame, but noted. Very, very duly noted. Oh dear. I was hoping that would work, but hey, we try things. Sometimes they even do work. But yeah, the railgun shots are too big. They weren't making it past. Maybe that's only for ion cannons, I guess. Okay, let's go. Right, and that is Super Idra weighed in on part 2, and it was a response to what I was saying about ship designs and things on that part. So that's where this one comes from. Super Idra says, finally managed to catch up. Yeah, I understand what you mean by ship design being in the eye of the beholder. It's just I'm one of those people who loves optimizing. That is a very fair point. But honestly, I would say when it comes to optimizing, that is also in the eye of the beholder. When you optimize a design, what are you optimizing it towards? Would you like, say, if you're designing a weapon, do you value a better rate of fire? Do you want it to be more accurate at distance? It's the same kind of principle, if I'm honest. I like optimizing. In fact, that's normally what I do when I'm designing something. I optimize the hell out of it. But I optimize it towards the goals that I have in my mind's eye, you know? So I think it's the same principle in general. And I think that's generally all I've got to say about it, if I'm honest. It's the same thing, at least in my mind. Let's see, I'm thinking a sensor array would help with better detection ranges. Though, of course, it will actually require some more crew. We are actually on the edge in terms of crew. We've got 6 extra crew at the moment. But I'm thinking it might be time to actually get the engines up to speed. And so what I'm thinking is engine rooms. They're only 8,000 apiece, but they are centralized points to drop off the energy packs to run the engines, so it'll decrease the foot traffic needed. And it also boosts engine effect by 50%. So, yeah, 50% boost on any attached engines. Sounds worthy, I think. So let's actually scrap out these sections here. There we go. That warp drive, sorry, that FTL drive, that's fine. I think I'm going to have, like, maybe spread it by 2, so that's 16. Then I still want to have some boost capability. How big is a huge? Ooh, huge. Ah, oh, big boys. Plenty of forward thrust, though. And then if I turn them around, we got some nice, big, chunky reverse thrust. Very nice. That should help with reverse, I'm guessing. And I think we can afford to actually have some big turning thrusters too, can't we? Yes, we can. Let's put them there, actually. If you're worried about not having enough power before, I think I'm solving that problem. Oh dear. That is actually quite a bit. Yeah, I think we might be onto something. Okay, let's see. Control C, delete. I'm going to move it back because it was clipping into the forward thing. So move it back down here so we get more turning mechanical force. I've got to split it up slightly. Like that. So it's still covered, but we've got a lot more force available down here. I think we need some better effects up here in terms of thrust on this end, because right now it's going to be way overbalanced in terms of turning and strafing towards the rear end. But that's going to be okay, I think. I'm just going to grab this and move it all the way down here. Right, what's that done to our FTL efficiency? Still at 99%, actually. Yeah, FTL efficiency is still great. But that is a huge bank of thrusters, which are, of course, also boosted by 50% because of the engine rooms and things. So, yeah, not bad. Though, of course, we also need to install the new crew quarters, too. Let's install those directly here. That'll be... Let's give the rooms like a direct access onto here. And then side access that way. Yeah, that seems like a good idea in general. Maybe. Of course, it's not got any kind of armor protection. That's the problem with this, but that's the sacrifice being made to get the adjacency bonus off the engine rooms. I could move it down here, though. And then that'll let me put some arming in place as well, and some extra support systems and things. Like, I think I'm going to have that as fire extinguisher point. I'm going to install doubles. I'm going to install a local battery room, like that, with lots of doors. I think this might be kind of what prompted that comment about like too many doors for fire spread and that kind of thing, which is, as I say, like a valid point. But I'm doing this because it means I can actually get the expressways right up to the doors, so they go really fast straight through into the room, and then in the room they're able to change direction and choose where they want to go. So it's using up more of the available space just to make sure people can get to and fro a bit more effectively, because if they try to cross an active expressway in the wrong direction, it slows them down. So just trying to be efficient in how people are able to go to and fro. Like, they're going to be slowed down if they're come out of here and then try to go that way. Flat out. So that is a concern, and why I might leave this one just like as blank corridor, just like that. Same thing I did up here. I left it blank so that people aren't really penalised too much trying to get to the other side of the moving walkway, which I keep calling expressway because I keep forgetting the name. But hey, it gets the point across, I think. Actually, if people are coming down here, they're probably trying to get to the engines, so I'm gonna. They come out that way, and the game is deciding that it needs more doors, so it's actually trying to countermand me in this. But I'm going to say no. How dare you? No. And actually remove a couple of those two doors it actually tried to force on me. But yeah, that looks okay. Right. Of course, there is that other comment, which is we don't want to go without point defense guns. Point defenses are good, and we're probably going to be running into situations where we're going to be needing them. So I'm going to install some defensive batteries as well, just because, good idea. Let's put a couple like there, actually. And I kind of want to put one up here too. But I don't know how tough these are in comparison. 2,000 hit points, pen resist -1. 4,000 hit points, pen resist -6. Okay. So yeah, the point defense systems are no substitute for armor. But I'm mounting them in pairs just so we can get a bit of extra DACA going on to try and shoot down anything that's nasty and coming our way, Also, I'm actually just looked at the cost. We are slightly over. That's fine. I'll get rid of a couple of people. And decrease that. Oh, we're still over. Let's avoid that for now. And of course, we don't have a few things. There was also an access issue, which I'm going to put just like a corridor access to get to these, because these guys aren't actually manned. They just need a power pack delivered to them, and then they become operational. So that should be enough to get them operational. Maybe I should have had them a little bit further back, but I wanted to have a gap of armor and then mount some thrusters in the side here for strafing and stuff. But yeah, look at this. People are just delivering big power packs to the central engine rooms, and that's spreading out to all the big thrusters on the sides. So we have more power, and the shaft is looking more like a shaft. So I didn't actually need to do that booster. I just did it. So what do we got? We got a Falcon. Yeah, I think we need more turning force up at the front. Our turning is being hampered by a little bit, just a tiny bit. That wasn't very accurate, actually. Actually, this thing has big boosts. I think it tried to get away from us a bit. And it weighs a lot less, too. Yeah, we need strafe, we need turning. But once we're actively chasing it, we can catch it and go bye-bye. Donezo. We're going to hit one more section, and then we're going to call it, I think. So... is there another easy one? Not really. There is this one here. So let's go into our next. Let's go to the next difficulty tier. Let's see how that works out. 85 to jump. We do have a lot of big heavy boosters. But here we are. One issue, by the way, we've got a long, thin design, so reverse thrusters and forward thrusters acting to try and help us to turn are actually not going to be very effective in general compared to the ones that are side-mounted. Because there's just not much mechanical force because of where the engine is located against the centre of mass in that direction. Anyway, our first medium design. As soon as we chase it down, it's not too far. And we're already peppering it. It is a Stomper. Just trying to make its use of its things, but yeah, our firepower is... Nope. One of our railguns went almost the whole way through it. Yeah, we do need a bit more turning force to bring the railguns to bear a bit more accurately, but that's okay. When ships are trying to manoeuvre, though, they are actually able to turn faster than we are, so we do need the bit of better thrusters up front. Or we could try engaging them a bit further away. There we go. We're out of electrobolt range, but the lasers can still try and do something. There we go. It was just a matter of the railguns actually getting an angle on them. I guess, so... Yeah, this is working pretty well. It's still just like turning is the big issue. That power battery is actually getting drained pretty quickly and try and keep all the engines fueled, so if there's a candidate to have our first localized power after installing the big central core, I think that might be it. No, apparently we really don't like the right wing of that phalanx medium. No, we do not. Okay, target that side there. We'll target the power core, something or other. I think this thing is actually trying to keep up with us a bit. Yeah. Part of me thinks that maybe we should have a single central rail rather than a double. I installed the double on a whim, but there are a few drawbacks I am noticing here. Tiny bit of damage, not too bad. But I'm actually going to call it there, because I'm conscious of this episode overrunning a little bit. I think we're at 35 minutes plus now. But, yeah. My next thought is continue to boost the engine power, and also spread it out a bit more, because I said that there's barely any at the frontier, so our efforts to strafe are badly hampered, and turning force slews the back around a lot more readily than the front, so I think that's might be throwing things off a bit, but the fact is we aren't turning fast enough anyway, so I'm thinking more big engines. Especially now that I can afford it. Big engines at the front. But yeah, this has been Iron Mark III. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing the next stage in the development of the Grand Shaft. And I'll catch you all some other time. See you all later.